What is up, beautiful people? Welcome back to another video.
Today's video is brought to you in part by Blood, Sweat and Tears MMA. Train, blood, sweat and tears. Real MMA.
We're gonna talk about UFC coming up this Saturday night. Max Holloway, a UFC featherweight champion, he cuts weight from 170, about 170 to around 145, right? And he ended up not being able to make weight, and he had symptoms of like a concussion, and he was stuttering, so he's having like brain issues, for an example, and they're not letting him compete at all at UFC event. His training partners and his coaches are like, nah, he went to the hospital, he was slurring his words, and that's bad. And when he did the UFC tonight, he was very like tired looking. I remember one of the analysts on there were saying, you look very, very tired. He goes, nah man, it's just the media. And he wasn't showing any like high volume of like energy or excitement. And he was just saying, oh, it's just the fact that there's a lot of media, a lot of press, a lot of stuff that's going on that is making it where I'm very tired. Let alone, he was going to try to still fight and put on an exciting fight for the world, because that's what he loves, is mixed martial arts. But what happened is, fighter safety is always the most important thing, man. You know, it's the most important thing. And for him to be in a sport that he's already showing signs of fatigue or maybe head trauma and other stuff, that is not a good sign when he's only 25, 26 years old and he's already showing signs of maybe a CTE or brain issues. That's not a good look, man. And the UFC is a violent sport. You know, the MMA game, it's very violent, and that's exactly what it is. Very, very vicious, very, very violent. And for him to already be experiencing this, is it due to the fact that maybe he's sparring too hard, or he's just training his ass off too much and he's overtraining? Junior Dos Santos had that problem when he fought Cain Velasquez. He was just training way too hard, and there's like physical problems. He was just like, I'm overtraining, my blood's too high, whatever. You know what I'm saying, man? He has a child. He is a beast. You know, he's one of the pound for pound best fighters in his weight class. But at what point do these fighters realize it might not be good to be fighting? It might not be good to get in there. There's a lot of guys that are out there that never have these brain problems, never have issues, but it just comes to the mindset of, is it really great? Because a lot of people say, people like Demetrius Johnson, for example, he's too good for himself. He fights people that he can beat. Demetrius says that he would rather fight fighters that never hit him, that rarely punch at him and land shots, because he will end up exiting the sport of mixed martial arts whenever that is, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and he will still have a normal body of health. And that is what a lot of these guys want, because in boxing, that's all you do is get punched in the head for 30 minutes. A lot of these fights are going 20, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, and they're going all 14 rounds, or 12 rounds, and that's a lot of rounds just getting punched in the head and punched in the body. That's so I just believe it might be a smart idea to, I don't want to say think of retirement or just for him to exit the sport, because that's what has provided him the lifestyle that he has. But it is what it is, man. Like I said, hopefully Max Holloway gets better. Brian Ortega, they could redo the fight, because I was looking for Brian Ortega versus this guy. So is the fight card really going to be that great of a super fight card? Not really. So it's like Frank Yeager. he typically walks around 155, 156, so he might have cut maybe 1 or 2 pounds maximum, which is very easy when you're only 155. So he was basically fighting at his natural weight, and he might have been the smaller guy out of the guys that were competing there, because some of the guys were 6 foot tall and they walked around like 180, 190, right? But he was able to have more cardio and more stamina because he was competing at the best of his ability. But for Max Holloway, I don't know if it's the fact that it was too much sparring, too hard of training, because during the UFC unbedded, or no, it was a countdown when they were filming, he says, "This is just my warm-up." He goes, this is most people's workouts. This is just my warm-up. So he was saying that everybody who's competing or just working out, his warm-ups are naturally other people's workouts. So his warm-up, so basically he's doing like 2 people's workout. Like he'd be doing my workout, and then he'd be doing another person's workout. Competitive fights. You would have somebody like, let's say, Max Holloway, someone like Khabib, someone like Donald Cowboy Cerrone, because a lot of these guys, they have physically come out and said the 155-pound weight class, it's just too hard to do, because they say once they get to 165, once they get to like 160, they say it's very hard and taxing on the body to get down to that weight class. So a lot of these guys just have a hell of a hard time. Or a lot of these guys now that used to fight at 155, they're making a run for it at 170 because they're like, it's ridiculous. It's hard to make the weight. Conor McGregor, he was making the 145-pound weight class, and the reasoning is he was a bigger, stronger guy. I just honestly 100% think that someone like Max Holloway should just go up to 155, see how that is, and relinquish the title.